could say that Bible Tracts Incorporated is going places, as evidenced by the bags and luggage and all that stuff. Early morning flights, all that fun stuff. Would love to tell you a little bit more about what we do at BTI on this broadcast today. Listen on, don't miss out.
Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us once again. I'm evangelist Michael McCurry. I have the great honor of being executive director here at Bible Tracts Incorporated. And on behalf of our board of directors, the staff, my predecessors in ministry here at BTI, I can only say this: thank you for your investment of time in our ministry. All across our nation and actually across the world, through online radio and through radio stations outside the continental United States, people are tuning in to the Bible Tract Echoes radio broadcast. And even though it's just about 15 minutes or so, if we added up the thousands upon thousands of people under the sound of my voice at this exact moment, the amount of time that is amassed and poured into this broadcast means so much to me. And on behalf of all of us, thank you so very much. We will return today to our newsletter. We got through the first 2, 3, 4, 5 pages even yesterday. We talked about what can we do to reach the world. How can I reach a world I never touch? The answer is you won't, my friend. And then we gave some greetings at the beginning, asked the question, what will you do for Christ today? You see, our newsletter that we put out 4 times a year, it is an excellent opportunity for, as the Bible says, mine eye to affect mine heart, to be able to see, to be able to hold in your hands these pictures of lost souls in countries like Pakistan and Thailand, and to see our staff staring back from the page at you to read with your own eyes what God has done, testimonies of God's goodness. That's why we produce our newsletter. I'd love for you to receive your own copy as well. As I made mention yesterday, you could request one for yourself. We have a limited quantity, so if you'd like one, do that today. Email us at info@BibleTractsInc.org. Now, if you visit our website, BibleTractsInc.org, we'll talk about that in just a moment, you can actually read this newsletter for yourself in a digital form. I'd love for you to do that. It includes all of the pictures. You won't miss anything. I'd love for you to see what God is doing. We are going to turn back to the newsletter and talk about something that's near and dear to Bible Tracts Incorporated. What am I talking about? I'm talking about tract printing. What we do, our heartbeat at BTI, has been printing tracts for over 8 decades. Can you believe that we have had the opportunity to put out over 588 million tracts free of charge in the last 80-something years? 588 million for F-R-E-E, for free? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. God has allowed that to happen, and the giving of generous people just like you. I'm turning back to the newsletter now, where it points out that we have printed over 3.5 million tracts this year. That's not counting all the tracts we already had in inventory, but here's what it says. What a whirlwind this year has been. Now, that's an understatement, wouldn't you say? Crazy year this year, but we have been charging forward, trying to accomplish all that God has for us here at Bible Tracts. With the overwhelming response, no pun intended, to the overwhelmed tract, as well as the interest in our new custom tracts, we have been printing at an unprecedented rate. To date this year, we've printed over 3.5 million tracts, and just in the past 6 weeks, we have mailed over 250,000 tracts. God has so incredibly blessed, and we are excited for what the rest of 2020 holds for BTI. While there is much unrest and turmoil in our world, we can hold to the fact that God's word never changes, and it still changes lives. On these pages, it points out, this article does, that we have a couple of our new tract designs that you can order on our redesigned website, BibleTractsInc.org. I'd love for you to see some of the new faces that we've designed. Beautiful. Coming up very soon, this track that I see here in the newsletter called The Characters of Christmas. That might be an interesting one for you to consider for the upcoming holiday season. One of my favorites, one of the new designs we have, it's called It's Free. I also see that one here in our newsletter. I'd highly recommend that you take a few moments, visit our website, peruse the opportunities we have there. I believe all of the thumbnails are updated, and you can see what the new tracks look like. As I look over the page to the next article here, it talks about the new Bible Truth app, and I get to introduce you to an article written by a friend of mine, evangelist Phil Klausner. I'm excited to tell you about this. Here's what he says. We are so thrilled to introduce the new Bible Truth app to the public, a new resource of Bible Tracts Incorporated. Not only does this app and radio resource offer conservative, God-honoring programming, but it will also allow you access to more ways to interact with BTI. The Bible Truth app has a library of thousands upon thousands of songs with the request feature. You can add your favorite song to the schedule, and it will play within 20 minutes if it's in our library. We also give you access to many different ways to interact with us, including leaving a voicemail testimony, which may just air on the radio. If you hear a song and need the name, you can go to the recently played area and get the info you need. On-demand content will also allow you to listen to Bible Tract Echoes and other great content at your leisure. With these features, we're thrilled to have an app where you can be engaged and get involved. Within the app, you have full access to BibleTractsInc.org and the ability to order your own free tracts right from the app. We're excited about the upcoming innovative features we're working on right now. All of this is made possible by God's people getting involved. Brother Klausner says you can make a tax-deductible contribution to support the work from within the app, whether you give financially or just take time to invest by praying for us or listening. We are grateful and excited to see how many more lives God helps through your support. The Bible Truth app reaches thousands of people around the world with encouraging and conservative teaching, preaching, and music. Now, the Bible Truth app, let me tell you this, it's available in the app stores. When I say app stores, I mean not just one, but you can find the Bible Truth app. If you search for Bible Truth in the Apple App Store, in the Google Play Store, in the Amazon Tablet Store, even on Apple TV, Roku, iPad, you name it, you'll find it there, and you'll be able to listen and peruse the amazing content that we have. As was mentioned, we have on-demand music. You can actually listen to a brand new album that was just released this year, as well as an amazing kids CD. I'm going to recommend to you, counsel you to download the Bible Truth app today. If you have questions about that, feel free to text me directly, 309-316-7240. Again, that number is 309-316-7240. Let's talk a little bit more about the Bible Truth app and something that is incredibly exciting coming up very soon. You know, with so much going on at Bible Tracts Inc., this next page of the newsletter says, "It is my honor to present the newest endeavor of this ministry. On November 5th through 7th, that's not too far away, November 5 through 7, we will launch Out by Faith into one of the largest events ever attempted at BTI. We present to you the very first Bible Truth and Bible Tracts Incorporated Share-a-thon presented by BTI. It's a privilege to partner with you in another way for the cause of the gospel. As I've said, please consider downloading the Bible Truth app and begin listening even now. Those of you that know of the large radio presence that our founder Paul Levine had realize that this is simply another step in recognition of our legacy and in caring for the principles that we were founded on. Please don't miss out on this encouraging live programming on November 5th through 7th. I'm excited to share with you as well that in the very near future, we will be sharing some recordings of Dr. Paul Levine on the Bible Truth app. So don't miss that if you would. I'd also like to say this. Now listen very closely. You, my friend, are invited to something. I'm not talking about a virtual event, though you could listen virtually and watch and interact with us, and we will have some virtual tours. But let me say this. You are invited to an in-person event right here at Bible Tracts Inc. That Bible Tracts Share-a-thon, the Bible Truth Share-a-thon, will culminate with an open house here at our location in Bloomington, Illinois. Everyone is invited to tour our facility and see what God is doing in person. If you'd like more information, I'd like you to email me directly. Email me, the host of the program, and let me know if you have questions. My email is this, micah@bibletractsinc.org. I'm going to spell it out for you. I don't want you to miss this. Micah, M-I-C-A-H, at bibletractsinc.org. That's BIBLETRACTSINC.org. Micah, M-I-C-A-H, at bibletractsinc.org. That's November 7th. November 7th on a Saturday. If you are anywhere near within driving distance of Bible Tracts and Bloomington, Illinois, please make a trip of it. It's a multiple hour event. You can just pop in for 10 minutes and leave if you'd like to. We'll have some refreshments and things. We will have a tour of our ministry as well. You don't have to stick around for very long, but we'd love for you to consider sticking around and fellowshipping and asking questions and seeing what we do. November 7th, beginning right around noon, even a little bit before that, around 11 o'clock or so if you begin to show up. November 7th. Please consider joining with us. I'm so excited to share what God is doing with our ministry. Many of our board members will be there. You'll see some familiar faces. You'll be able to meet me. I'm excited to meet you. Meeting me doesn't mean anything, but me having the opportunity to meet you, one of our listeners, that would be exciting for me. I'd love to invite you to that. Now, tomorrow, we're going to continue through this newsletter and talk about our Your Decision tract. Now, you've heard me mention this if you've listened to this radio broadcast over the last month. It's a brand new tract that we have a very low quantity of. And if you'd like some, you might need to order today. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but tomorrow I'm going to read from our newsletter and talk about this new resource that God has allowed to make a massive impact. I'm excited to share it with you. Let me say this, friend. Thank you so very much for accompanying me on this journey through our newsletter. You've been such a blessing to me, even if we've never met each other. I've had multiple of our friends contact me directly through my email or text me 309-316-7240. I'd love to hear from you. Join us tomorrow. God bless.